I try to need you, but I need some lessons. I need to give it all. I try to live, but I can't. I don't know why you're the one.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. You know, on BeauteLLC we do nursing daily vlogs and lifestyle videos, and I hope you have been keeping up with me as I've been doing Shein hauls. I've been doing a lot of different videos, and I hope you have been enjoying that. But for today, we're gonna do a little sit down. We're gonna talk about Renr. I've been promising this video for like the past 3 years, and I finally decided to do it because I know that some students will have Renr like going on right now or about to do Renr. So if you are about to do Renr, you need to watch this video because I'm going to give you all the tea and what exactly to focus on when you actually decide to do your Renr exam. So first of all, we're going to talk about what Renr is. We're going to talk about the domains and the weight of each domain, and then we're going to talk about different study strategies that you can use in order to pass your exam. So first of all, I have my little book here with all of the domains and the percentage, so you guys can follow as well as myself. So let's just get right into the video. So what is Renr? Renr is a regional examination for nurse registration, and it basically qualifies you to practice as a nurse in the Caribbean space. So this exam is like one of the top exams or one of the biggest exams in your nursing life as a nursing student, and it is one of those exams that actually it makes or breaks you, because the first time you go to sit this exam, you're going to realize that it's not easy. But if you are a person that is determined and you actually study your content, you will actually pass. So let's go into the nursing blueprint domains, right? I'm going to try to explain as best as possible, but for reference, you can just simply go back to your nursing Renr blueprint and just scan through and see like what exactly the Renr exam is looking for, right? So that's the big disclaimer. It might change, it might be different, but for when I was sitting my exam, that is what I'm going to use, right? So I told you what Renr is already. So what the domains, there are 7 domains that they actually test you on, and the first domain is nursing practice. And nursing practice is going to entail, for example, your knowledge about the different diagnoses, your knowledge about the medication, your knowledge about every little thing that, you know, would key you in on how to care for this patient. So your nursing practice is what you do with your hands as well. So the head, the hands, and the heart. So what you do with your hands, like what would you do for a patient that is hypoxic? Like what would you do in that scenario? You call the doctor. You first apply oxygen up to 5 liters, and then you call the doctor. So you have to know exactly what to do in critical situations where quick thinking is needed, right? So that is the first thing, and that weighs 30%. So you need to really focus on your content. So just bear that in mind. The next thing is the professional conduct. So there are certain questions on the exam that will entail like a co-worker is abusing drugs, etc. What would you do? That is a good example of professional conduct. Like, how would you intervene in the situation? Would you tell the nursing supervisor? Would you let the nurse continue to do that particular action? Like, you need to know exactly how to conduct yourself as a nurse and how your colleagues should conduct themselves, as well as how you behave in the public setting, because that is very, very important, that they know you are capable of doing such. The next thing is health promotion, and that weighs 20% of your examination. So the nursing practice and health promotion are 2 big factors that they really zero in on. So you need to ensure that you are very versed in your knowledge about the different diagnoses, as well as how to promote health, how to take their medication, how to keep up with their lifestyle, different lifestyle changes that they need to make in order to maintain their health. Because we're nurses, we're supposed to be alleviate suffering and promote health. So that is basically our role. So we need to know how to educate our patients so they don't come back to the hospital, of course, because we don't want no more patient to take care, right? The less patient we have, the better it is for us. And when it's time to get a critical patient, like somebody with an MI, we have space for them. So we're trying to keep everybody out and keep the very ill ones in. So, you know, just ensure that you focus on health promotion. And health promotion is like very simple. Okay, so you're gonna take antibiotics. Ensure that you do not drink milk 2 hours before, 2 hours after you take this medication. Just simple things like that will give you your near to 20 mark, because of course you're not gonna get 100% on everything, but they're definitely testing you on health promotion. Leadership is 15%, and that is coming up at number 3 as it relates to the most important or the heaviest parts of your exam. And you know, so leadership has to do with how you would delegate certain tasks, or what would you delegate to this healthcare personnel. So those are the things that you need to zero in on, how to prioritize. There's a certain book that I need to tell you about, the delegation and prioritization book. And by the way, guys, if you need any material, feel free to hit me up and I will send them to you. I'll just get your email and forward it to you, because I have most of these books in my email just the same, because I just looked it up and I found like every single thing up to the blueprint in a whole folder on my laptop. So if you want this information, I can definitely send it to you. So that's a little heads up. But guys, your leadership is very important, because you have to know how to prioritize patients. You need to know how to delegate. So for example, a new nurse is coming on the unit on a maternity unit. You're not going to give this nurse somebody who is like in active labor, because of course she's not a maternity nurse. Or even if she's new as a maternity nurse, you wouldn't give her the most ill patient, because of course you want to introduce her to more stable patients. So in the long run, she gains her experience and she's able to get more critical patient as the time goes along, right? So you have to be considerate of people, even though sometimes in real life you don't get that. But just in the ideal world, like what Renr is trying to portray, that is what you would do. The next thing is communication. I know you have your S-bar, so your situation, your background, your action, and your recommendation. So that is where you know, say, okay, when I call the doctor, I need to tell the doctor the name of the patient, the age, the diagnosis, what exactly is going on with the patient. You're gonna say, okay, I applied oxygen to the patient, etc., etc., and what would you recommend? I recommend that you come and review this patient. I recommend that you give this patient some nebulization. And the doctor will say, okay, nurse, or continue to monitor the SpO2. In the meantime, I will be there to review the patient. So those are the little things that you do when you're communicating with other healthcare personnel. You can also advocate as a means of communication. So you can, as well as, you know, suggest to the doctor, okay, we think we need this patient to have some physiotherapy. Okay, we need this patient to do certain things. So you need to talk to the doctor and tell the doctor, okay, I think that this is a better choice, or I think that the oral medication is not good working out for the patient because the patient can't swallow. I prefer that the patient gets IV medication. So you just simply need to know how to communicate, and you need to know what exactly to communicate when you call somebody for help. Understand? Yeah. So the next thing is clinical decision making, and this come back to the prioritization, and this way is 20% along with your health promotion. So your clinical decision making comes along with your critical thinking. So this way is a lot, because of course you need to know how to move fast and know to make certain decisions when it comes on to your patients. So based on the presentation of the patient, what would you as the nurse be warranted to do before the doctor gets there? You need to know what you would do first, because of course you're going to have questions, you know, that say which would be the best, or which would be the first thing that the nurse does, right? So those questions are going to check your clinical decision making, and that weighs 20%. So you need to zero in on those questions, and you need to know to prioritize. You also need to know different conditions and what you're going to do. So if you have a MI coming, you know, say Mona, you wait for the doctor order and you do what the doctor say. You give your morphine, your oxygen, your nitroglycerin, and you give your aspirin. It doesn't matter which sequence they say, But as long as the doctor give the order, you know as a nurse, okay, this is what I'm gonna do first, the monotherapy. Other answers might be there, like raise the head of the bed, check vital signs. So most of the times your assessment comes first because of, of course, add pi. But you as a nurse needs to know what is a routine therapy for certain conditions, right? So yeah, that comes into your clinical decision making. So next, the last and final one is professional development. Some of the times it might ask about certain scenarios where the nurse in charge wants to do some, what you call them, like seminar or whatever, and what should you do first when you're planning a seminar. First of all, you find out the learning. First of all, you find out the group that you are preparing for, the age group. You find out how they learn. You find out if they're visual learners, audio visual learners, etc., etc. So after getting this information, you need to take it and just take your time to go through and see like what are your weak points and the subjects that that you definitely need to brush up on, and just do. So how I studied now is the main thing that I know y'all came here for, because you want to know, oh, this girl passed RNR on our first try. And I mean, like, I'm not scared to share, because of course I did nothing different, because most nursing students that normally take RNR pass. And I want to brag a little bit, okay? So for my nursing group, basically only one person failed out of the group. So like we had almost 100% pass. For span of duty we had 100%, but for RNR we almost had 100% pass. And I'm happy to say that because we worked together, even though our group was not one of the best groups to be in, we ensured that we worked together. And any information that anybody had, we tried to send it to each other, and we studied in groups as well. So that is how I found that it got better. But here are my tips. Tip number 1, read the lecture notes. It might be tedious to go through everything, but read the lecture notes. And I suggest that you study everything in systems and study everything in order of the systems. So for example, you're going to do respiratory system today. So you do your respiratory system and you study the respiratory drugs just the same, in the same category. So all are respiratory. Tomorrow you do cardiac. All of the cardiac drugs. And tomorrow you do cardiac system. You study the cardiac drugs and you study them in groups. So for example, you have your ACE inhibitors, you have your calcium channel blockers. So you study everything in groups, so that way it sticks more and you come up with some like acronyms or so forth in order to remember, because I do well with acronyms, especially when I make it up, I remember. So the next thing is that you can indulge in YouTube videos, because I was suggested to use YouTube videos as a way to cement the information. So what I read normally, I go and look for a YouTube video to just cement everything. Sarah Registered Nurse RN is one of my top playlists when it comes on to YouTube videos. Like, I watch all of her videos on YouTube. Like for Cardi, I watch her Cardi videos. For recipe, I watch all her recipe videos. So she is like my number one pick when it comes on to videos on YouTube. However, Simple Nursing has a buzz too, but I feel like they break it down and they give you a lot of mnemonics. But I prefer Sarah, because I don't feel like Simple Nursing gives you all the information, because at the end of the video they're like, subscribe to get more info and whatever, but Sarah give you everything. And she does give you like practice quizzes and so forth, and I like her practice quizzes. So yeah, Registered Nurse RN is A1 for me, and she's what I used to study for my exam, so she's good. Use her. The next thing is that you need to do a lot of practice questions. I did practice questions for 1 month straight after I completed studying, and I would suggest that in a 3-month timeline, that is the time that you need to use to study. So in the first 2 months, you can do your reading and reviewing, etc. And then in the last month before your exam, that is when you need to do your practice questions. Practice questions are better done in groups, and if you want to get some of these questions, you can hit me up. We get some from Lippincott, me get some from me get them from all over the place. But anyways, guys, it was nice talking to y'all, and I hope you go forward and do your exam. All the best. I wish you all the best. Trust me, just put your mind to it, and anything you put your mind to, you can achieve it. As I said, and I always said to myself, if somebody else could have done it, I can do it too. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Philippians 4 verse 13 was my motto for my entire nursing journey. I can tell you, say I'm going to no exam and never pray. Every single exam I'm going to pray. Every single exam, go with God, okay? Because I got alone, I got help you in the exam. The 200 questions, 100 per sitting is not easy. So, ensure that you go over everything. You get friends that will help you along the journey, and you will definitely pass your exam. So all the best and good luck to you guys. And just remember to share this with a friend. Share this with somebody you know is doing RNR and they need a little pep up. Share the span video with somebody who you know is doing span, because I also have a span video. And ensure that y'all have a great day. Bye guys.
You don't need no